In a recent AFL TV interview, Peter Fury, the uncle and former trainer of WBC heavyweight champion Tyson Fury, was asked for his views on the proposed four-man heavyweight tournament in Saudi Arabia. He said the following: "On the recent performances, you've got to pick Tyson out of that bunch. Tyson's definitely above Joshua and Wilder, I'd say. He's already proved himself against Wilder. Usyk is a different ball game. He's a tough fight for anybody. He's not a walk in the park. He's not a small heavyweight. So that's a close call, that fight. That can go any way. Usyk is a dangerous operator, and I think everybody knows that. Even in Tyson's team, they'll know that." This flies in the face of what Tyson and John have been saying about Usyk. They've been publicly dismissing him as an easy fight, a middleweight who stands no chance. But their actions, of course, tell a very different story. Tyson has ducked Usyk twice now. The first time was immediately after the Wilder trilogy, and the second time was after the Chisora trilogy. So when Peter Fury says that Usyk is a different ballgame to Wilder and Joshua, that a fight between him and Tyson could go either way, and everyone in Tyson's team knows that, those words ring true. Never mind all the rhetoric from Tyson and John, it's just hot air. Their actions tell you how they really feel about Usyk. And as far as I can see, it's exactly as Peter Fury described. He's given us an insight into what's really going on in Tyson's mind and in his camp. Peter has been estranged from Tyson and John for several years now, of course. So obviously, the Tyson Fury fanboys will claim that these comments were motivated by jealousy. What they'll never do, however, is acknowledge the fact that Tyson and John are serial liars. Peter, on the other hand, is much more of a straight shooter. Even when he was still training Tyson, he was the one guy in Team Fury who you could rely on to tell it straight without any mind games or hype talk. He was the one guy who didn't constantly try to dismiss and discredit Tyson's rivals. He gave credit where it was due and criticism too, irrespective of who it was. Now look, opinions have no bearing on the outcome of a fight. Just because Peter Fury thinks Tyson versus Usyk is 50-50 doesn't necessarily mean it will turn out that way in the ring. Sometimes even the fighter themselves is anticipating a really tough fight, but it turns out to be far easier than they expected. Perception doesn't always match reality, but that perception is often enough to make a guy swerve a fight, as Fury did with Usyk twice now. It's not that Fury is afraid of a fight, he's afraid of the consequences of losing a fight at this stage of his career. He's worked very hard to get into the position he's in now, where he's not only making big money, but he's also receiving plaudits from the boxing world. People are not only saying that he's the best heavyweight of his generation, but some are even saying he's the greatest heavyweight of all time. Fury's ego absolutely loves all that, and the size of his purses is predicated on these public perceptions. If he were to lose to Usyk, all of that goes down the drain. When a fighter has nothing to lose, they tend to take more risks. When a fighter has a lot to lose, they tend to be more risk averse. There are some exceptions, of course, Oleksandr Usyk being one of them. He has kept the same energy from his amateur days right up until now. He wants all the smoke. Like Keith Thurman used to say, he's not afraid to let his O go. So anyway, if you haven't seen this interview with Peter Fury, I highly recommend it.